Assalamualaikum and hi. Today we would like to present our financial accounting assignment based on the company we choose, Patron and Petronas. So before that, I would like to thank Mr. Zul for assigning us this assignment. I would like to introduce our group members. First is Ali Muhammad Al-Ghail, Roshan Raj anak lelaki R. Pusparaja, Wan Nurul Ain Najwa binti Wan Hamzam Zaimi, Selva Reja Suwari, anak perempuan Selva Ganeshan, Rosmaliana binti Mat Lazim, and me, myself, Adila Shafiah binti Ahmad Rashidi.
My name is Roshan Raj. Now I'm going to present about our assignment's introduction. Financial accounting is one of most important branches of accounting. The main purpose of financial accounting is to report a company's business transaction documents, summarize and record financial transaction. Financial statement can be divided into four different types, which are balance sheets that is responsible to provide information on the financial status of a company, income statement, cash flow statement that summarize the total expansion of earning of the company, and owner's equity statement. Financial accounting information is important to partnership as it can be used as to measure of how much each partner has invest in the company and making comparisons within the partners and working together to come up with the best financial approach for the future of the company. Financial accounting information is also important to companies as it can help with their budgeting. With proper budgeting, the company can refrain from unnecessary spending on unwanted economy resources that do not benefit their business. Financial accounting information is vital to sole proprietorship as it provides the. My name is Roshan Raj. Now I'm going to present about our assignment's introduction. Financial
I will tell you about the two companies' background, which are Petroleum National Berhad Petronas and Petron Pension Refining and Marketing Berhad Petron. Let's see the vision and mission of these two companies. Petronas' vision is to be the brand first choice, while Petron vision is to be the leading provider of total customer solution in the oil sector and its allied business. For mission, Petronas is a value-driven fuel marketing with market leadership in Malaysia. The mission of Petron really different from Petronas. There are six missions in Petron. The first is being an integral part of Petron customer life at studying and expectation and meeting changing needs and delivering a consistent customer experience through quality product and innovative service. Second is developing a strategic partnership in pursuit of growth opportunity. Third, fostering an entrepreneurial culture that encourages teamwork, innovation, and excellence. Fourth, act with professionalism, integrity, and fairness at all times. Five, adhering to the strictest safety and environmental standards, and also promoting the best interests for all their stakeholders and caring for the community. The principal activity of Petronas are oil and gas exploration and production to downstream oil refining, marketing and distribution of petroleum products and so on. Meanwhile, the principal activity of Petronas are manufacturing and marketing of petroleum products. These two companies have shareholders, but they consist of major shareholders who have higher percentage of share in the company. In Petronas, the government of Malaysia has 3.9% of share. Employer Provident Fund has 12 and 12.4% of share. Pemodelan Nasional Berhad with 8.37% of share. For Petron Dimensional Fund Advisor LP with 0.54% of share. KAF Investment Fund Berhad has 0.47% of share and Amundi Malaysia Sendirian Bank with 0.10% of share. The director of Petronas is Tan Sri Datuk Sri Muhammad Bakar Saleh as non-independent executive director. Dato' Tengku Muhammad Taufik as Executive Director President and Co-Chief, and a few independent non-executive and non-independent non-executive. The Director of Petron Ramon as Executive Director, Louis B. Nepos Musino as Chief Executive Office and Executive Director, also a few independent director and non-independent non-executive director. Petronas and Petron have many subsidiaries under their company. Under Petronas have Petronas Dagang Berhad, Petronas Gas Berhad, MISC Berhad, and others. Under Petron have Petron Oil and Gas International Subsidiary Berhad, Petron Marketing Corporation, Petron Global Limited, and so on. In 2021, Petronas get a profit 48.9 billion ringgit Malaysia. And in 2020, Petronas get loss 21 billion ringgit Malaysia. It show increase in profit because of increase in revenue. In 2021, revenue Petronas increased than 2020, which is from 178.7 billion ringgit Malaysia to 248 billion ringgit Malaysia. This increase of 39% from the previous year. So cash flow from the operation Petronas increased in 2021. In 2021, it's 8.6 billion ringgit Malaysian, which is higher than 40.7 billion ringgit in 2020. It's increased because a rising COVID-19 vaccination rates reduce pandemic relaxation and growing economy. In 2021, Petron get profit 238 million, but in 2020, Petron get loss 30 million ringgit Malaysia. It increased because of revenue. So Petron can turn around from loss to profit. Petron revenue increased from 6,462 million in 2020 to 9,183 in 2021. Petrol revenue increased because the demand for oil increased after COVID-19. Next is earnings per ordinary share was at negative 4.9 cents in 2020, but 2021 it was 88.3 cents. The earnings were negative in 2020 because the income investment was negative and it's not good for Petron. However, it can get positive in 2021 because income increased in 2021.
I would like to know what are the 5 significant accounting policies. First, property, plant and equipment. The similarities are valued at cost less any accumulated depreciation and impairment losses. Second, borrowing costs are capitalized for qualifying asset in accordance with the accounting policy on borrowing costs. Third, when major components have different useful life, they are recorded on separate items. Fourth, the cost of replacing a component of an item of property, plant and equipment is recognized in the carrying amount in the future economic benefit employed within the component are likely to flow to the group of the company, and its costs can be measured reliably. Differences. First, Petronas project in process are stated at cost, less accumulated impairment losses, if any, are not depreciated. Second, the gain or loss on disposal of an item in PMRMB is determined by comparing the proceed from disposal within the carrying amount and is recognized net in profit or loss as other income or other expenses. Third, in PMRMB, major repair and maintenance costs are capitalized only when the future economic benefits associated with the items are likely to flow to the company and the cost of the item can be measured reliably. Second, lease. The similarities are, at the lease commencement date, the company recognizes a right-of-use asset and a lease liability. The company generally uses the incremental borrowing rate as the discount rate. The group and the company have chosen not to recognize right-of-use asset and lease liabilities for short-term leases of 12 months or less, as well as leases of low-value asset. The lease payment associated with these leases are recognized as an expense by the group and the company on a straight-line basis over the lease term. Next, differences. The lease liability is excluded, which is Petronas, because variable leases payment are linked to future performance or usage of the underlying asset. These payments are instead recorded as profit or loss in the period in which the performance or use occurs. Other lease payments included in the measurement of the lease liability in PMRMB are amount expected to be payable under a residual value guarantee. The group and the company apply the lease payment for the period to the gross lease investment to reduce both of the principal and the unearned finance income. Intangible asset. The similarities are Amortization for intangible asset with a finite useful life is calculated on a straight line basis over the estimated economic useful life and is recorded in profit or loss. Second, subsequent expenditure on intangible asset is capitalized only when it increases the future economic benefits and void in the asset to which it is related. All other expenses are recorded in profit or loss as incurred. Differences. Computer software costs in PMRMB are amortized straight line over the software estimated useful life, which typically falls between 5 and 7 years. Formula in Petronas related to product formulation for specialty chemicals acquired in a business combination are valued at fair value on the acquisition date. Patent and trademarks are valued based on their initial recognition at a low cost. For the current and comparative years, the formula, patent, and trademark have an estimated useful life of 20 years. For inventories, similarities are the lower of cost and net realizable value is used to calculate inventories. Net realizable value is the estimated selling price in the ordinary cost of business less the estimated completion cost and the estimated cost to complete the sale. Differences. Petronas costs include raw material costs, production overhead, and other costs incurred to bring inventory to its current location and condition, and are calculated on a weighted average basis. PMRMB costs include all applicable purchase costs and production overhead and are calculated on first in, first out FIFO basis. Cash and cash equivalent. Similarities are cash and cash equivalent are cash on hand and deposit with licensed financial institution and highly liquid investment with original maturities of 3 months or less than have a low risk of change in fair value and are used by the group and the company to manage their short-term commitments. Differences. Cash and cash equivalent are presented net of bank overdraft and registered deposit if any in Petronas cash flow statement. Depreciation. Similarities are depreciation is calculated by separating the cost of an asset from its residual value. Plant and equipment depreciation is recognized in profit or loss on a straight line basis over the estimated useful life of each component of an item of plant and equipment from the date it is ready for use. Differences. Petronas depreciate buildings over their useful life or the remaining land lease period, whichever is shorter. In PMRMB, depreciation of refinery production asset is computed using the unit of production method and expected refinery crude consumption over the estimated useful life of this asset, whereas depreciation of other refinery plant and equipment is computed on a straight line basis. Capitalized major repair and maintenance costs are depreciation in straight line fashion until the next scheduled maintenance activity.
Non-financial information is often defined as environmental, social, and corporate governance information, referring to the three central components in measuring the sustainability and societal impact of a company. Sustainability and non-financial information have become a central concern among business leaders, investors, consumers, and regulators. Capital market participants are increasingly prioritizing the importance of non-financial information. Investors, regulators, and banks are looking for more standardization to drive accountability and include non-financial drivers in rating, regulations, and governance. Increasing global focus relating to climate change, diversity, and inclusion, and the COVID-19 crisis has only accelerated this momentum. Some of the non-financial information that we have to analyze from both Petroleum Nasional Berhad, Petronas, and Petron Malaysia Refining and Marketing Berhad (PMRMB) report are: first is environmental. From our analysis, Petronas focus on environment to reduce pollution by reducing carbon emissions. Meanwhile, Petron Malaysia Refining and Marketing Berhad focus on reducing wastage. Overall, it can be seen that both companies are contributing to the environment by reducing wastage and decreasing pollution. Next, employee health and safety. Petronas employee health and safety give a more specific area where they focus on the health and safety issues regarding the current situation and establish a holistic mental health and well-being signature program. On the other hand, Petron Malaysia annual report on the matter of health and safety is more general. Overall, both have stated the matters of health and safety of COVID-19. The third one is corporate social responsibility. Social projects done by Petronas are more than Petron Malaysia, since Petron Malaysia is still a new company. Overall, it can be concluded that both Petronas and Petron Malaysia are contributing to societies with what they can offer. Next is corporate governance. In 2021, Petronas demonstrated its lion performance amidst the difficult global business environment. The significant economic contraction triggered by COVID-19 has been real test of corporate governance in practice across organizations around the world. Meanwhile, Sustainability Council of Petron Malaysia consists of members from the management committee who is responsible for managing the day-to-day activities of the company under the four sustainability pillars: economy, environment. Lastly, board minutes of meeting. Petronas directors have a high commitment to the running of the business, as can be seen from the board minutes of meetings above. On the other hand, it can be seen that Petron Malaysia, the directors are less committed than in Petronas based on our analysis from the table of attendance of board minutes of meetings. Overall, non-financial information is one of the factors that can contribute to a company's success. By considering all aspects of non-financial information in the environment, society and governance, a company can grow stronger.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Ali Muhammad Al-Ghay. My magic number is 821-83217. Analyze any financial records related to the financial performance position, including the comparing between the two companies. Financial records are the tools that can help to analyze the company's financial performance and position by comparing various financial metrics to one another. These records provide insight into the company's profitability, efficiency, liquidity, and other aspects of its financial health. By comparing financial records of different companies, you can identify strengths and weaknesses and make informed decisions. Assalamu alaikum. My name is Ali Muhammad Al-Ghay. As we can see here, the financial ratios for the two companies are debit to equity ratios. See, actually the formula are same between the two companies except the value. You can see here in the Petrons that the debit to equity ratios is 0.188, while the Petron is 1.182. Let's move to the second. Return on assets. Return on assets, you can see here 0.0193. Also, we can see in the Petron company is 0.056. It means that the company is gathering returns of 56% on assets. Also, in the Petrons, we can see that the company gathering. As we can see here, the financial ratios for the two companies are. So, let's move to the third, which is the gross margin. For the two companies, for the Petrons is 1%, and for the Petron is 0.058. Fourth, current ratios. Current ratios is for the Petrons is 1.25, while for Petron is 0.97. And the lastly, which is the operating margin. Operating margin for Petrons is 3.35%, and for Petron is 86.066%. So we can see here the analysis. High debit to equity ratios can indicate that a company is using a lot of borrowing money to finance its operations, which can be risky. On the other hand, a low debit to equity ratios can be indicate that company is financing primarily through shareholders' equity and less reliant on borrowing money. You can see from the calculation that we done before that Petron company has a lot of money borrowed rather than Petrons. It's important to know that return assets can be affected by a number of factors, including the efficiency of the company's operations, the level of leverage is using, and the quality of assets. A high return asset is generally seen as a positive sign. As we can see in the calculation done before that Petrons has more return assets than Petron. So we can see here the analysis. High debit to equity ratios can indicate. Third, also it's important to know that gross margin can be affected by a number of factors, including the cost and pricing of companies' products, the efficiency of its products processes, and the level of competition in the market. A high gross income is generally seen as a positive sign that indicates that the company is gathering good profit on itself. Fourth, a current ratios of 1 or higher is generally considered to be healthy, indicates that company has efficient assets to cover its short-term debits and financial obligations. A current ratios below 1 may indicate that company is struggling to meet its short debit and financial obligations. We can see in the calculation done before that Returns has 1.25. That means company is in health short-term debit, while Petron has 0.97%. That means it has struggling in the debits, finance, and obligations. Lastly, a high operating margin indicates that company is able to generate large profit margin from its operations. Related to the calculation done before, we're gonna see that Protons had third. Also, it's important to know that gross margin can be affected by a number of factors, including the cost.
Okay, in conclusion, we can include there is a four types of financial statement. There is statement of profit loss, statement of financial position, statement of cash flow, and statement of equity. In statement of cash flow, we can see that both Petronas and Petronas Company include their annual administrative and general expenses. It could be proven by the negative and positive net profit or loss, where Petronas is decreased from 693 millions in 2020 to 584 million in 2021, whereas Petron is decreased from 13,315 billion in 2020 to 238,471 billion in 2021. In statement of financial position, we can see that both Petronas and Petron show that all the final resources they own along with their liabilities and equity claimed by the different stakeholder. We can see that uh, there is a listed company owes giving insight and overall health and business. Okay, in the statement of cash flow, we can see that the both company prove that they have shown the cash and cash equivalent being used in their company. The cash inflow is If the cash inflow is lower than the cash outflow, then the company use the cash and cash equivalent in such a way to get a profit. While if the cash that the company use is higher, then the company will face a loss. In statement of changes in equity, we can see that uh, the both company have managed to change the shareholders' equity over time. This can be analyzed based on the benefits, liability, net income, and dividend. The dividend paid by the shareholders in both company show in show that they has increased and decreased. For example, Petronas, the dividend paid Petronas is increased from 600 and 960 million in 2020 to 3,200 million in 2021, whereas Petron is decreased from 32,400 in 2020 to 13,500 in 2021. Moreover, if statement shareholders' equity increase, it means the activities, the business is paying off. For example, Petronas has increased by 471 million in 2020 and to 4,531 million in 2021. Where meanwhile Petron has decreased by 44,362 billion in 2020 and grew by 226,625 billion in 2021. That's all from me. Thank you.